Hello guys, Savan here. Welcome back to another video. So in this video we are going to learn about forms in React.js, how it differs from the simple HTML forms, and how to transform your simple HTML form to a React.js form. What will be the differences? Let's directly jump to the code part. So here I have already created a file named form.react.js. I'll be creating a class-based components as we want to use state. We can also use state in function-based components, but we have to use hooks for that purpose. And yet we have not learned about hooks, which we'll be doing in the later videos of this playlist. But don't worry about that. You will not be understanding how to use states and all that in function-based component to do all of these different kinds of things. I'll be walking you through all of that also. There will be a slight change and you have to just do that, and it will be same as class-based components only. So it's a easy thing, so don't worry about that. So now let's create a form. Instead of that, first of all we'll be doing a simple form which will just take my name slash label. Instead of that, I'll be first of all giving a name as name label. Input will be type of text, will be as a name only. Value, which I'll be setting later on, but let me declare it right now. On change of this specific input, I'll be calling one method which will be named as handle change. Good. Let me do that. And first of all, let's declare a state here. You might be thinking that what he is doing, we have to create a constructor and then we can declare states here, but no. In class-based components you can also declare states just like that. You do not have to necessarily add the constructor to do so, but it's a second way. You can also do it with a constructor. It's more used in the production world. Whenever you'll be working with a company, you would be using constructor only, but I'm just showing a different way that you can also do declare state like this. So that's why I'm writing the state like this here. So let's declare a method which is a handle change arrow function, so we get access to this keyword here directly. And this on change event which is mentioned here will be giving us access to the event which is on change. So we can get all the values typed in this input box in the event. What we'll be doing here is we'll be setting the state, set the state of our name to what? To event target dot value. Good. We get access to whatever is been typed here in the input box. We get access to that with the help of event.target.value. So we are just setting the value of this to the name state. Okay, so it's simple like that. And now let's create a input of type submit. The value will be also submit. Okay, you can also declare a button and you have to write the same thing here. And here at the start of the form we have to write on submit whenever the form is submitted. What I want to do, so what I want to do whenever the form is submitted, I want to call the method which will be handling the submit. So handle submit. Good. And here also I have to mention the keyword, forgot that. And here on the inside, instead of the value we have to write this dot state dot name. I'm setting this the value of this input will be set to this dot state dot name. Okay, so let's declare the method which is handle submit here. Here we have to do one thing. First of all, we have to prevent the default method of the submit button, which is it will redirect you to the next page or something else. It will refresh the form. So we do not want to do that, so we are writing here event.prevent default, and to get access to the event we have to mention the event here also. And Then we'll be doing a simple alert, which will be giving us this dot state dot name. Whatever we'll be typing here, we will be getting displayed through alert. Okay, and here, for the purpose of your understanding, let's do a console log of the event dot target dot value, so you can get a better understanding of that how this onChange event works. Let's save that. Yes, so there's no error. Let me open the localhost 3000. So as you can see here, it is displaying. Let me zoom that. Yeah, let's open the console, clear it out, write something. If I'm writing srp pixels, so as you can see here in my console, it is on the change of every letter, it's displaying me the output here. So whenever the change is occurring in this input, the value of event.target.value will change. Okay, so if I'm also deleting this, it will change. So let me write a Savan here, simply submit. So as you can see here, the alert is coming up with my name, which is getting access from the this.state.name here. So that was simple. So let's try one more example here, guys. We'll be just copying this label. Lazy in typing. Password. Here the type we have to set to password, otherwise it will display the simple password, it will not display it in the asterisk. Here also we have to write password. Guys, do make sure that you are not making any typos, otherwise you will be doing a hell lot of things to that solve that one typo only. Here also I have to mention that in the state, my password field. Looks good. There's one error, I know that here, and write my name, Savan, password, Savan. As you can see here, it is not displaying anything right now. So what's the error here? First of all, the first error here is we are calling the same handle change method in the both. So first of all, we are writing the input in the name field, and then we are writing the input in the password field. So it is calling the same state here. So the whatever we are writing inside of this and password field, it is also getting stored inside of that name state. So we have to create one more method here. So there are two ways to do handle this type of circumstances. Either you can create two fields, that one for setting the state of name and one for setting the state of password. Okay, but what if there are multiple and too much of fields in your form, like 10, 15 to 20 fields, then it's not feasible to create 15 to 20 different methods to set the state. So what we'll be doing here is we'll be just, first of all, let me do that in the function. We'll be using one advanced concept of JavaScript, which is high order functions. Inside of this, we have to simply write here whatever a variable name. You can also write anything, like let's say args. We are getting passed some arguments here, and we are also getting passed the event, which is onChange. So what we have to do here is one more change, which will be we have to pass the name, like what's the name of the state we are getting the input for. We are getting here the input for name, here we are getting the input for password. So that was all. And here also one change we have to make, which is we have to mention the args. These args will be mentioned inside of square brackets. Yeah, so you have to mention like this. So whenever this handle change method is called, first of all will be called for this, then it will be passed, the argument will be passed as name. So the here it let's understand that it is a name, and here also the instead of args it will understand like name. So it is dynamic, guys. So you do not have to create multiple methods for the onChange. You just have to mention this args in the square brackets, and you have to pass, you have to use this high order function of JavaScript. It will look a bit difficult right now, but whenever you will use it 2 or 3 times, it will be cakewalk for you guys, so don't worry about that. I guess it should work now. Let me check that there are no errors. So let's refresh the browser, write something else, Savan. Instead of here, we'll be writing SRP pixels. Good. Here we are console logging name and password both. So as you can see, we are just doing alert for name only. That's why it's displaying the name only. You can also do it for the password here, same as well. So you might be thinking like you are using the state here and you have to mention like this dot state dot everything so many times. If you are having a big form, then it will so much be a messy looking code. So to avoid that, you can do one more thing, which is called as destructuring of the state. What it simply means is whatever the state you are having, like here we are having name and password both, so you just have to write the name of that, and here you have to write equals to this dot state. So this is the common syntax of destructuring the state. In hooks also you can do the same like this. Let's remove the name, this dot state here. Save it. Let's try to run that again. Let me remove the console log here, guys. Let's refresh. Write something. You can see here it's working. So what we did here is we simply told the component here that these are my two states which are coming from this dot state. So from now onwards, whenever I'll be using the name and password, you do not have to write the this dot state. You directly understand it and set it as this name and password. Okay, so it's just for some less code here. And if you do want to create different methods for each of your handle change here, then what you can do in one other way here is you can just simply write this arrow key function here, and inside of that just set the state for that particular state. Here we'll be doing as for name. For name it's let's say just e dot target dot value. Here we have to also pass the argument. Let's save it. And here also, let's first of all try that. We'll be writing the name. As you can see here, it is also displaying the name. So you can do the inline method here also. Let me copy this. If you really want to do make different functions for all of this, if you have any other validations to make. But if you have any validations and you are having a big complex form, then you should be using some libraries which are recommended by React itself. The documentations also, React has mentioned this library which is Formic. It is a great library for creating forms. They provide you with many of the methods inbuilt. But if you are creating many forms and they are big forms, then you should be using it. Otherwise, do also have a look at this React hook form, which is so lightweight and it's of some KVs only, so it will not affect your overall performance of the website. So if you are having a single form, then you should consider using this also. Otherwise, this is the website of that React hook form. So that was all, guys, for the forms in React.js. I hope you liked the video and I hope you have understood it, and do comment your views. I also tried making some different outros from last couple of videos, and I am also working on some my video editing skills also. So if you have any suggestions or any feedback, do mention it in the comment section down below. See you guys in the next one. Thank you.